It's what makes it fun. All right, 4 quarters with the professor. What's going on, sir?
Yes, sir. So first quarter, we're going to go ahead and get into the NFL. Which trio is the best in NFL history out of 5 groups? Which trio is the best in NFL history? A, Montana, Craig, and Rice. B, Warner, Faulk, and Bruce. C, Aikman, Smith, and Irvin. D, Manning, James, and Harrison. Or E, Bradshaw, Harris, and Swann.
Ooh.
Starting with Coach.
Thank you.
Well, okay, I'm going to do process of elimination here. I'm going to eliminate St. Louis's trio because they only won 1 ring.
Okay.
With that group. Even though they were the greatest show on turf, that losing to that undermanned Patriot team, to me, hurt
didn't make
them.
no sense at all.
Right, so I'm going to eliminate them. Man, Dallas, they're staying up there. That triplet, that 3 out of 4 was good. Swann and company, that was a good one. That's going to stay there for now. What were the other 2?
Montana, Craig, and Rice.
That one got to stay up there too.
And then Edrin James, but Edrin James,
the Colts, I eliminate them right
Yeah.
now.
Hey,
too.
man, Edrin James.
They only got 1. So
now you got to break that down.
So you got Montana, Craig, and Rice, Aikman, Smith, Irvin, and Bradshaw, Franco Harris, and Lynn Swann.
And that was a good one too.
Which trio is the best in NFL history if you had to choose between these 5 groups?
Well, now it's 3.
3.
Montana and Rice got 4 together. So I got to, but Roger.
No. Rice wasn't in the first one.
He wasn't?
Their first Super Bowl was against the Bengals, right?
The Bengals in 82.
They got 4 together.
83.
I don't think Rice was there.
Rice
was on.
Was he on the 83 team? No. Rice came in 84. Let's look at this.
I think Rice came in 85.
Yeah, I don't think Rice was there.
So they got 3 with, and I'm not high on Roger Craig like a lot of people was back then. I'm gonna eliminate the 49ers because I don't. Roger Craig's just not.
49ers has been eliminated.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go.
So you got Aikman, Smith, Irvin, and Bradshaw, Harris, Swann.
See, this is the problem. If I pick Dallas, it's Cowboy bias.
Homer.
I'm gonna be biased.
I'm a homer, and if I pick, I hate the Steelers.
you can't even fix your mouth to say Pittsburgh, can you?
It's probably the Steelers. It's probably their trio is probably just above Dallas's trio, just barely.
What was Rice's?
Yeah, Ice came in 85. Rice came in 85.
85.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Pittsburgh Steeler trio as the top trio.
Bradshaw, Swann, and Franco Harris.
Yes.
Okay.
That
and
trio.
the reason being?
Didn't they get 4?
Yep.
All of
them got 4 together.
Yep.
So you got to take the rings. At 4-3, it's Barry Switzer's fault. We didn't win 4 in a row. we having a completely different discussion right now.
Because he didn't go for it on 4th down?
Now, if we're going statistically, I like Dallas's trio better. But I'm a championship guy. I like rings. Rings mean something to me. So for that reason, I'm going to go with the Steelers.
Professor. Benchwarmer.
Well, for me, that was kind of easy. I would say Pittsburgh. And the reason why I would say Pittsburgh, because number 1, they do have 4. Number 2, all the trio of Bradshaw, Swann, and Franco, I mean, they were just as important as the trio of, if not more important, as a trio of Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, and Troy Aikman. I think the importance, because if you look at the Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, Roger Craig, it was more Jerry Rice and Joe Montana, and Roger Craig was just he added a little something to it. But then at that time, you had several other running backs. You had Thomas Rathman, who led something in that backfield too. You know, so you had a couple of things within that backfield that made that offense work. If you go to Peyton Manning, Edrin James, and Marvin Harris, you're right. You only got 1, because even within that, you lose to you lost the Super Bowl with that trio also. Who was the other one you had?
Warner, Faulk, and Bruce.
Yeah, the greatest show on turf. You're right. You are the greatest show on turf, and you can't take down New England. And that should have been a done deal. Even at that, you barely beat Tennessee. With Tennessee, it was an inch of the ball.
Just an inch.
Just an inch.
Just an inch.
Yeah. So that the dynasties we're talking about, the Montanas, now Pittsburgh, they didn't do a lot of blowing out either in the Super Bowl. You barely beat Dallas twice. Now you did take out Minnesota, and the Rams was a close game too. But because they got 4, you take 4 over 3 all day long. Anything else didn't really. I mean, any other dynasty that you put up there,
Really
because you could actually take that Dallas dynasty with Aikman,
Smith,
Irvin, and Smith, and you can take that dynasty and run that dynasty through the 80s, and they still compare. Run through the 70s, and they still compare. Run that same dynasty through the 90s, and they still compare. The same with Pittsburgh's dynasty. Those 3, you can run through each one of the phases, and they still, but the other ones, fly by nights.
Okay. They both play a style that's
right.
That's conducive to longevity.
Yeah,
ma'am. I'm sorry.
Can I answer now?
Whenever they're through,
I'm done.
I'm through. I'm finished. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, go ahead.
Man, mine would be short and quick.
Okay.
I actually went with Pittsburgh as well because of the same reason why you guys did, because of the rings. I would have been biased because of the Cowboys. And we have an audience comment. Perry Mason II says,
"What's up, P?
Dallas triplets. The first time I heard the term coined, and I don't like them. Niners Nation."
Okay,
and
that'll get you blocked, sir.
No. But he makes a good point though, because that's the first time.
Lord.
That's the first time you ever heard that term coined. The triplets.
The triplets.
That is the first time. That's the only reason why they're in that conversation, because that's the first time you heard it coined, the triplets, because you didn't hear that coin. And to be honest with you, Pittsburgh in the 70s also had John Stallworth and Rocky Blyer. So we forget about those 2 that helped, and they had that steel curtain defense.
Yeah.
We're just going.
That means another question right there.
So there was
the best defense.
Yeah, there is some things to that Pittsburgh team.
Now you can change it and all of a sudden talk about offensive stats, and that changes the whole scenario then.
Because
but we're not talking.
Yeah. Cowboys put up 20 on you in the first 2 minutes, and you're like, okay, never mind.
Perry Mason said, "Tell Martez he knows where I stand."
Yeah.
Okay, well, Stan. Well, Stan. Tell Perry to stand or kneel with Colin Kaepernick over the Niner Nation.
Moving on.
Tell him to stand or kneel with Colin Kaepernick.
What's quarter 2, Professor?
All right, second quarter. Should NBA teams be allowed to sit a player when healthy under certain circumstances?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, they do that now. They do that now. NBA teams, they're not required to play everybody. I mean, we get to the locker room and everything, and they have
contract
DMPs.
terms?
If you do sit a player and he's healthy, you get fined $100,000 per game.
That's right.
It's like having a spade in your hand and not
Wait,
playing
I'm
it
sorry.
when somebody lay down a spade.
I'm sorry. Who gonna find LeBron? Because there's many times he done sat and was healthy.
Now, this question is brought about
It's not
when
finding
you
the
think
player,
about
is it? It's finding the team.
No, the Anthony
Who's it
Davis
finding?
situation.
you finding the team.
You
Finding the
finding the team.
team.
Yeah,
Right,
but still though,
100,000.
LeBron has sat 800 times when he been healthy. He'll choose to sit.
But he didn't sit
He
the
has
whole
been healthy.
game.
No, he sit the whole game.
He did not.
LeBron will choose when he wants to play or not. He did that in
I've
Cleveland
never
all day
seen
long.
him sit
No,
a whole game.
because they act like he's not healthy. That boy is healthy.
Oh yeah, they can manipulate the injury.
Yeah, they
report.
act like he ain't healthy. That boy been healthy. They sit him all the dang time.
They can.
So yes or no, Benchwarmer?
Nah, should they what?
Should they be
Should
allowed?
NBA teams be allowed to sit a player when healthy under certain circumstances?
I don't think they should.
No.
I mean, but because it's almost like
Cheating.
if you're going. Remember the All-Star game,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't feel like playing the All-Star game. They do that. I mean, that's what they do with the All-Star game. Even in NFL, they do that.
But that's optional. We're talking about an actual game.
Then wait. If I'm a fan, I'm paying my money to see a player. That's what I'm paying my money. I'm paying my money to see a LeBron or whoever. If you healthy, you need to get out there and play. Don't be a wimp. That's why he's not the GOAT. That's why LeBron ain't the GOAT.
All right, Coach.
He decides when he wants to sit or not. He did that in Cleveland all day long.
What's your verdict?
They shouldn't be allowed to do it, but if I'm an owner myself, and I'm gonna use the Pelican situation, Anthony Davis situation. Okay, he told you he doesn't want to be there. Anthony Davis is a top 5-10 player in the NBA. His value is going to bring the Pelicans a lot in return. His health is required for that to happen.
I still can't believe
so.
there's a team called
With that being said, if I'm the Pelicans, I'm gonna do exactly what they're doing right now. They're playing him, but he's only playing about 15 to 20 minutes a night, and that's it. They get him out of there. He doesn't play anymore because it's too important to them this offseason, either with Dallas or the Lakers or whoever, to get the draft picks, to get the players in return. And if he goes into the offseason injured, he loses value. You might not get the assets that you were expecting to get, and that changes your whole franchise.
Okay.
But here's the deal, though. You don't play you don't not play a player because they might be injured. They might get injured.
That's the risk they take.
That's the worst thing you ever want to do is when players start playing timid because they might get injured, guess what? They're gonna always get injured.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I said that's the risk that you take being a player, being a ball player. You can't whip out and sit down because you're afraid of getting hurt.
Exactly.
That's like football. You might as well play flag football if you're going to sit down because you don't want to get hurt.
Well, they got that in the NFL right now.
Well, Anthony Davis isn't afraid to get hurt. He wants to play.
Yeah, but the
Pelicans
don't want him to play.
Exactly. He has already hurt his shoulder.
Right.
During the
so they're scared he's going to get more injured.
He did really hurt his shoulder.
Has he hurt his shoulder, or is that what they're saying?
No.
Okay. We got to read between the lines here.
But he kept playing though.
Well, the Raiders did that with Marcus Allen. Sat him for a whole 2 years, even though he was not injured. Sat him for put him on 3rd, 4th, 5th string, and then they sent him to Kansas City.
All right, so let's go in the third quarter. Do you expect the NFL to handle the Robert Kraft case like any other conduct matter?
That's so funny. We actually talked
Who's
about
first
that
on that right there?
You.
Me.
No.
Now let's start with Shelley.
Yeah.
Me. I said if that had been Mike Tomlin or any other African American, do you think it would be taking them that long to figure out what they're going to do from the NFL side? You know they wouldn't. There's no way. There's no way. And the charge that they're trying to, or the punishment that they're trying to give him is 60 days probation and what else?
Who are you referencing to?
And some Robert
Kraft. Okay.
Yeah, they're trying to give him 60 days, not 60 days in the county jail and probation. That's the punishment that they're trying to give him.
What's the fine?
I didn't see the fine.
It's a misdemeanor solicitation.
But if this was an African American, he'd be. They literally, there's somewhere out there in the news where they put side by side R. Kelly and Robert Kraft. This is what we're gonna talk about in entertainment.
I was gonna say
but that's part of entertainment we're gonna talk about.
That's two different things. Let's put a Warren Sapp and a Robert Kraft side by side.
Man.
Warren Sapp actually got a slap on the wrist for the first time he did that. He got caught.
But that was back before the Ray Rice incident and all this other stuff. The zero tolerance.
But you said put an African American on the same table. That's what I'm
saying. Warren Sapp was before the zero tolerance. Now, after the zero tolerance, you got Zeke Elliott, you got Ray Rice, you got who else was just recently?
Kareem Hunt.
Yeah. Greg Hardy with the gun couch.
Yeah,
I like
all
the gun
of them
couch.
have been just just quick judgment, quick punishment.
Well, no, they wasn't quick punishments. No, they
The Zeke one took some time.
The Zeke one took some time. Yeah, they wasn't quick.
That's only because he fought it.
Right.
Well, no, that still took time because it happened. It happened his rookie year, and they gave him the punishment the year after. So it did take some time.
Perry Mason says, "Who knows? It depends on the video."
Well, now what it depends on is
on his color.
Is Roger Goodell saying, "How come you didn't take me?"
And that was his homeboy. Yeah.
Yeah. You should talk to me first.
You know, this should be interesting considering how close
They
Goodell
are
and Kraft
exactly.
are.
And
Mhm.
plus, he's
And that's
an
why I
owner.
asked this question, because if you think about the Zeke Elliott's, if you think about the Kareem Hunts of the world who are African American, then with Robert Kraft, who is white, you have to ask yourself, do you expect the NFL to handle him
the way they
the way they
handle
had everyone else within the same conduct?
Well, they're
This-
going to
this
also
is-
consider the fact that he's an owner and he's not a player.
Yeah,
But he's still
exactly.
he's still an individual.
Exactly.
Yeah, he
He's
is,
still a
but he's
person.
still an owner, and he
Right.
puts some money behind his stuff.
Exactly.
So
And yeah,
I'm
so
saying
That is
that
a
green,
great point.
that green speaks a lot.
Yeah, it might not be black or white. It might be
Yeah,
green
Yeah,
and
it might be
green.
green and
Come
green.
down to money.
Yeah, it comes down to money.
They
All
may
right,
just-
so
So my answer
Yes or
is
no?
they're gonna treat him differently. They're definitely
so
they're gonna
so no.
they're not gonna they're not gonna treat him like any other player or coach or anything like that, because one, he's an owner, and the other is because of his skin color, I believe.
Okay, bench warmer.
I think it's a slap on the wrist because I think it's more than just because he's the owner. Yeah, he's bringing in money. You're talking about the champion, the NFC, I mean AFC or Super Bowl champs,
Mhm.
you know,
6 times.
and because of the friendship.
Right.
And I think the friendship has more
It's
to
gonna be
do.
biased.
I think friendship has more to do with anything else than just the color. I think it's more about the friendship. I mean, because guess had that been Jerry Jones, well, guess what happened?
Oh yeah, he'd be under the bus.
They'd have stuck him under the
That'd
bus.
have been it. He'd be under
Yeah,
the
had
praise.
that. So let's use that. Had that been Jerry Jones,
That's a good comparison.
what you think would have happened?
That's a better comparison.
Because Roger and
owner to
Jerry,
owner.
yeah, Roger and Jerry don't like each other, or Roger don't like Jerry. And remember, Jerry came out to try to get him not get that 200 something
Yeah.
million.
Get
So
resigned.
had it been Jerry, we had a new owner.
Okay.
Audience comment. This is P. Mason again. Money, institutional racism, and the justice system equals how much can we see?
Coach.
I think folks just be making stuff up.
up.
All right, you have the final say. Answer the question, and based off of what P. Mason just said, what is your thoughts?
I try not to involve racism in a situation like this. I look at it from a money standpoint.
Mhm.
Him being an owner, him have the billions of dollars. And I think his punishment might be worse than we think, because there is rumors out there that we're talking underage illegal women
Trafficking.
and trafficking.
Mhm.
That's a whole nother scenario.
And did
we're
you see
talking
their
about
living
then.
conditions?
Exactly.
If they can prove the trafficking,
So if they prove the trafficking,
then it's gonna be a little bit.
that
yeah.
that changes everything,
Mhm.
because then we're not talking a slap on the wrist. We might be talking some
Yeah.
serious jail time,
Yeah, this
serious
is not just
fines.
solicitation.
Yeah,
This
then the
is-
NFL might not have a choice but to
to
kick him out of the league
Yeah.
at that point. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna play the wait and see game right now.
Mhm.
That's your answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
that's no
All right.
answer.
That was an answer. That was a good answer.
All right, the final quarter, fourth quarter, with the invention of the super team idea, have LeBron James ruined the NBA with this concept? Starting with you, Coach.
No, this super team. Look, man, I'm so tired of this super team nonsense. Super teams have been around. Just go to the 80s. Did y'all see my Showtime Lakers? Did you see the Boston Celtics? How many Hall of Famers were on those two teams?
Yeah, but the problem.
Oh, not to mention
not
the
your turn.
Sixers with
Let him finish.
Moses Malone and Dr. J. Oh, let's even go further back to Bill Russell's team that won all those championships. Super teams have been around. The difference is LeBron became the first one to say, I'm leaving this sorry Cleveland Cavalier team. I'm going to get my boy D Wade. I'm going to get my other friend Chris Bosh. We're going to get together. We're going to win some championships. This has been going on. It's
Here's
nothing
why
new.
here's why the super team the super team.
Hold on.
Okay.
Are you finished?
No.
Okay. Keep going.
Get him, Professor. Oh.
So you know, when you look at it, the difference is that other teams have grown their super teams, and LeBron went and put one together, and that's why everybody's upset with them. But super teams have been around. This is nothing new.
You finished?
Are you
Yes,
finished?
I'm done.
Okay, now open the floodgates. You go ahead.
Here's,
Oh boy.
here's
Wait,
why.
wait. Audience comment.
All right.
Okay.
An example needs to be made of these billion-dollar abusers. They're the scum. Oh, he's talking about the
The Robert Kraft
Yeah,
situation.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Never mind.
Okay. Go ahead.
That's
Miss Swann.
Ladybug.
Go ahead.
She late. She's sitting here and late.
That's okay.
That's okay.
We'll
We'll
get back
we'll
to
get
her.
to a comment. Go
I'll
ahead.
put your comment in the entertainment segment.
Okay. The reason why the term super team is using used because a player is actually going to get other players to create his own team on another team. It's okay when owners put things together, put teams together. Shoot the cow. I mean, all teams do that. I need this player. I need this player. The owners are doing it. The management structure is doing that because they're putting the money together. When you talk about a player going to get another, hey, you need to lead that team. You need to lead this team. Come over here with us. So that's what we're talking about. That's what LeBron ruined. Is where players. It's not about the ownership, because the ownership say, no, you're not doing that. I'm not letting you do that. But because of LeBron, he goes out and get his own. It's almost like you playing. We you know how you play pickup basketball. I want him. I want him. I want him. Them my players. I want right there. That's why they do the super team. Yes, he ruined it. He ruined the whole structure of how we do this thing. Because now James Harden or anybody can say, well, now I don't want to play with him unless he comes over here. So now let me talk to my friend over here and say, hey, come over here with me. It's like the prisoner running the insane asylum.
Oh Lord.
So we're going to ignore the fact that Charles Barkley purposely tried to get on the team with Akeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler to try to get a ring.
Okay, number one, who is Charles Barkley?
Oh no, a top 5 power forward of all time.
Charles Barkley got problems now.
I mean,
but he's telling the truth though.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
He's telling the truth.
I get that, but that's one player, and that one player did not usher in all this other crap that's going on.
This ain't LeBron hate here.
No.
So because I just gave you an example of somebody who started it, so we're not talking.
No.
Long time ago.
LeBron James ushered in everything that's going on right now. He ushered it in. Things like that happen. Shoot, people were doing cocaine back in the 70s. It wasn't a big epidemic until
What does that have to do with what we're talking about?
what I'm saying is one person with a status. Look at LeBron's status. LeBron is the only player to coach his whole team when the coach is still sitting there.
See, again, that's an assumption.
No, you know good and well LeBron was coaching Cleveland Cavaliers.
No, I don't know that. Ty Lue's a good coach.
But you know LeBron
My
was
answer's
coaching.
no.
You know LeBron was coaching. You know LeBron's no, we're not running that play. We're running this play over
my
here.
goodness.
The coach is telling you what to play.
Well,
No, we're not running
everybody
that.
does that. Magic Johnson used to do that to Pat Riley.
Not to that extent.
Oh, come on.
You
Come
don't
on,
know
not to that
that.
extent. Come
You
on.
weren't behind the
When
scenes.
you reach a certain level, you can get away with that. When you reach a
Yes,
certain level.
I
You think Michael
believe
Jordan
that.
didn't look at Phil Jackson sometimes?
on
and say,
now.
I'm not passing this ball
Come
to him.
on.
I'm shooting this shot.
No.
Say it,
No.
Coach,
We're
say it.
talking about we know good and well LeBron was coaching the Cavaliers and Luke was just sitting there, just okay, whatever you want to do.
Audience comment
That's a negative.
Go ahead.
That's a
from
positive.
Ladybug Turner. Michael Jordan added Dennis Rodman to make them a super team. And P. Mason said, quarter for nope. Always been a super team. Depends on who makes it, the team or the player. The 80s Lakers and Celtics equals a team, and LeBron teams equal a player.
Boston
Wow.
was
That's what he said, the Celtics.
Yeah, Boston was made by the team, and that's what I said. The team. If it's okay when management creates the team, but when players go out there and say, "No, I want you," and they're pulling other players from the team.
But see, we didn't have social media and we have all this stuff back in the day. You don't know what those players were telling the coaches and going on and saying the stuff behind the scenes. I'm with Coach. I don't believe LeBron is the one that has abused it and made it that way.
LeBron abused it.
No, and I'm not a big LeBron fan, but I don't believe it was him.
Anybody from Cleveland abuses everything.
If LeBron didn't change the landscape of the NBA to that level,
Right.
we might need to rethink this GOAT
Exactly. So Ladybug says that's where LeBron got the idea from back in the day. That's what I'm saying.
Well, how y'all know now? Now all of a
Come
sudden
on
y'all know.
Come
talk.
on.
Greats play with greats.
Now
Yeah.
all of a sudden y'all know.
This ain't nothing new.
First of all, you didn't know. Now all of a sudden you know. I wasn't back there social media, but now I know what happened.
It's just common sense, basically. It's common sense.
Real
Anyway,
quick, Shelley, 60
No.
seconds.
No, I mean, I've been kind of sharing what I think it's a no. I don't think LeBron is the one, like Coach said,
Mhm.
it's been going on behind the scenes back in the day. He's not the first. He didn't make it up, so he's not the reason behind it.
Okay.
You know, we just seeing it because we have social media to put it out there. We got the media putting it out there, but it's been going on.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the end of 4 quarters.
Good 4 quarters.
Ladybug said LeBron is an old soul.